Okay, so today we're going to do Yin Yoga. You'll need block and a belt. And if you have a chair, any kind of chair will work today because we're not doing any um, poses on it. We're just using the chair as a support. Okay, so we'll learn how to stretch your back and stretch your hamstrings and relax the back at the same time. And once you relax the back, it is gonna form this kind of catenary curve to the back. So we'll start with standing poses, and then we'll come to sitting poses later on, or maybe something on the mat as well. So let's get started with that. Um, so here you can see I have a chair. We'll just do very basic. So stand on your mat, keep the chair outside of the mat. If you have a surface that is not carpeted, I think that'll be even better, mainly because the chair then can easily slide away from you. Put your feet on the ground, spread them apart. Uh, in my case, it is about 3 feet apart. So spread it apart. And then grab your chair and just put your hands, the blade of your hand, on the chair like this. Okay. And then push the chair away. So let it slide. And then keep sliding the chair away from you so that you get a nice stretch. You should get a beautiful stretch in your back. Okay, so we're preparing ourselves for the deeper poses, and this could be a good beginning to use the chair as a support. But now we're not leaning on the chair like this, okay, or neither we are leaning back like this. All right, so try to see that your feet are kind of perpendicular to the mat this way in the y-axis, okay? And then you're keeping a hand here. We will hold this pose. In yoga, we're going to hold poses. We're going to hold this pose and just relax here. There's really nothing to be done. Just basically keep your hands, don't grab the chair. Just put the hands like this so that you're just using it for support. And maintain equal amount of balance on both the feet and not just on the blade of your feet. So your feet will tend to do this. Try not to do that. The ball, the heels, and the blade forms a triangle down there, and that should be equally supported. Okay, and just be here and observe how the back will start relaxing, and it may start because of the gravitational pull. It may start bending or sort of sagging in the center, which is a good sag because normally the sag is not good in structures, but here I think the sagging is important because we normally tend to slouch the back all the time, and we don't get a chance to do this reverse curve on the back. So observe that the back is sagging. Observe that you're getting nice stretch in the hamstrings at the back. And the reason we are using the chair is it then it relieves any kind of tension from the low back. And then it focuses on the hamstrings, it focuses on the back without hurting your low back. So this is a wonderful exercise to just hold. At the end of the day, if you just do this for a few minutes, it's really, really amazing. So we're not pushing the chair right now, and I'll tell you when to push it. In this particular pose, we're not pushing it, and just be here. You may want to close your eyes even, and just chill, just relax.
Make sure your feet are not bending like this. Make sure your hamstrings are nice and stretched. A few more breaths here. And let your head fall, let your chin press against the chest. And look between your feet beyond the mat and relax. Wonderful. So we'll do the stretching first before we twist. It's an important sequence to know. You have to stretch and relax your back before any kind of twisting can happen. So we're stretching the back here, and then see, you can come back, relax, and come out of the pose. Bring your feet together, put your feet to the front, and then come up. Okay, now we're going to turn the chair towards you. So the seat is towards you. We go back into the same pose and keep your feet spread apart again. Bring the chair towards you and put your hands on the corners like this. You just grab it and just look up. And this time you may realize that the back is curving even further and relaxing so that the back has this beautiful curve. So, and you're not rounding this off. You're basically doing this. Hamstrings are still stretched, they're not relaxed. And you look up or look straight ahead. The moment you lift your head up, the back is going to do that. And you look up. And let's just stay here. Maintain the full firm support of your feet on the ground. Make sure that the ball, the heel, the blade, they're all equally supporting your body at the back. And then a couple of more breaths here, and then we'll start doing something different. So just observe your breath, keep looking ahead. And then you bend down a little bit, still grabbing the chair, and start pushing the chair away from you. And see what happens subtly in your body. This part of the body stays where it is, but you're now pushing the chair away from you. Tuck your head inside. And keep pushing the chair away as your spinal column is going to get stretched. This is a wonderful stretch at the end of the day. Every morning after showering, make sure your body's a little bit warmed up, or and then it will cooperate better. So we're going deeper into this pose now. And let your head fall. And take a full account of your body. Take a stock of your body. See what is happening there. See where you feel the stretch. The hamstrings are stretched even a little bit further. Your spinal column, your back muscles are getting stretched. And slowly, you just relax here. Let the gravity do its job so that it takes away any kind of personal leadership out of the pose. This is the crux of the yoga that I teach, that it is about observation, it's not about doing. And that Sakshi, that, that witnessing element inside you is more and more awakened through these poses. You're observing dispassionately from within without putting any effort whatsoever. You're just observing, taking stock of the body, let the gravity do the job, and the muscles and the tendons are just basically getting stretched in your hamstrings. Just observe all that dispassionately. Observe as though you are doing it, but know the fact that things are happening. Observe that the mind and body as a system, as an organism, is doing it. And you're just witnessing all that with complete disconnect from within. You're just observing. Just observe what is happening. Feel all the sensations in your body. Feel the heat developing at the back of the hamstring as we are deeper into this pose now.
And to come up, take a one step forward, and let's turn the chair around one more time. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into the pose now. So what we're doing is we're coming back to the pose where we were. And this time you're going to grab the bar. So you see, we started from here, there, and there. We're slowly moving into the pose. Okay, so this time, grab the bar
And push the chair away.
if you're using any other chair, see if you have a bar there. If not, you can hold the legs also like that. Okay, so in this particular chair, and I really request you all to invest in this simple chair that you can buy at Walmart or Amazon and use this. This is a wonderfully stable chair for doing yoga. And what these props do, they relax your muscles. And the moment you relax, um, the muscles tend to cooperate and not rebel against the stretching. Okay, that's the whole purpose of using the props. So you're going deeper now. So what you can do is now get up on the toes and stretch your hamstring and then put your heel down again.
Wonderful. And try to see if your back can be straight.
To ensure that you can look up like this. The other possibility is you can rest your head, your forehead on the backrest of the chair that gives support to your head, and it will further relax your back. It will further relax your hamstrings. Make sure that the feet are not tending to rotate outwards. So keep them as they are, firmly grounded. Make sure you have enough support. Wonderful. And lastly, we are going to come up and then turn the chair around again and grab this time what we're going to do is we're going to fold our forearms and then we're going to rest on the chair.
And push the chair away.
The other possibility is you can grab it like this and gently rest your forehead if you can without rounding the back off, without changing anything at the legs. Put your head on the crown of your head on the seat. the edge of the seat. The other possibility is you can put your forehead, and if you want to grab the legs and then put the forehead down, that's also fine. This is a much deeper position. And see if you want to put your hands down completely. If you want to move back a little bit, pull the chair towards you, and then put your head on the top. This is a tougher position. If you want to keep a block on the chair, that's also fine. So you can grab your block and put it on the chair, and then spread your feet apart, and then put your forehead on the ground. I mean on the block, and then put your hands on the ground. So every step of the way, we are supporting the body, elevating any kind of strain in your low back. All right. So this is a wonderful way of avoiding any kind of back injuries, low back injuries, and see if you want to put your hand in the back like this and just be here. And make sure your hamstrings are stretched nicely. Wonderful. Close your eyes and dispassionately observe the pain. Observe the pain that is generated from the stretching of the hamstrings. Dispassionately observe it. Look at it at a distance, that the mind-body system is going through. And it has nothing to do with you. And relax your hands, relax your upper body. Let it settle down in this pose. Feel the heat that is generated in the hamstrings. Make sure both the toes are pointing straight ahead and not outward at 45 degrees. If you do not have it that way, turn your toes inwards so that they'll be perpendicular to your front edge of the mat, and relax. Wonderful. And to gently come out of it, grab the chair, push, and rise. Put your feet together this time. Wonderful. Wasn't that an amazing stretch, guys? It's really stretches your hamstring way, and then come back up, straighten yourself and relax. So now we're going to do the good old exercise that we always do. Stand on your mat about a foot away from the wall. Grab the wall at the back. Put both of your toes together. Both those toes together, and try to tuck your tailbone. Push your bummy outward so that it's going to go rise a little bit against the wall as you bend forward. So now we are going to go a little bit deeper And put your hands on the thighs. Put your hands on the thighs, grab it, let them slide down till your knees. And again, watch how the gravity is helping you do all this, okay? We're not really doing anything. It's just the gravity. The body is just succumbing to the gravity slowly, 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 slowly. Slowly, slowly. Let the hand slide down on your shin bone. Let it slide. You'll realize that your bummies is going to slide upward as this thing is stretching at the back, the hamstrings, and wiggle yourself upward a little bit and pull the chair towards you and relax and look straight ahead. And be here for some time. A few breaths. And then your hands are straight right now. Let the hands bend at the elbows while you're still looking straight ahead. Raise your head up and look straight ahead. You will start noticing that the hamstrings are getting stretched. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You can pull the chair towards you. Keep the block in front of you. See if you want to put your forearms and still look. Don't let the head drop. If you drop your head, then the back is going to round off. So keep the head straight. If you cannot do this, you can grab the back of the chair and let it relax. And pull the chair towards you a little bit and look up. So this is a fully supported position, and it is allowing the hamstrings to even go further into the stretch. And the idea is that we're slowly, slowly getting into the standing Paschimottanasana. Okay, that's what we are going with this. So then when you stand and do the Paschimottanasana, you can call it Janushirasana, you can call it Padahastasana, all these names, they don't really matter. What matters is what's happening in the body here and now, that the hamstring is stretched, that the back is relaxed, and the gravity is helping you stretch. This is going to be a deeper stretch than you normally get in the sitting pose, because in the sitting poses the gravity is not very active and you have to exert from your end, which brings in the karta bhav. Karta bhav is the doership, and what we are trying to do is keep the doer away. We're really not doing anything. The gravity is pulling ourselves. The upper body is hinging from the hips. Okay, it's hinging from your hip bones. That's the hinge. And we are taking any pressure away from the low back, so there is nothing hurting there as such. Okay, so this is the whole point. And then you can put your hands down on the thing and see now this time if you can use the block and grab the chair from the side just to stabilize yourself. And see if you want to finally drop your head. If you cannot rest the forehead, turn the block around and rest the forehead. If you cannot do that, you can put the block straight up and rest the forehead. Support it. Don't be ashamed in supporting the body, because the whole macho attitude that we have inside that I can do it is the one that we're trying to dissolve. We're taking away the doership out of this thing. Slowly, 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 that doership, that ego that is built in, I can do, it dissolves the ego when you support. And this is the deeper understanding inside. And once you have that understanding, once you internalize that, you will surrender in the pose. And that surrendering will bring about the self-awareness, the awareness of the body, the awareness of the thought, the awareness of everything that is going around us. And you just relax. And gently come up. To come out of this, hold the chair, take 1 foot back, and take the second foot back, and gently come up and relax against the wall. Lean on the wall. Let all that blood flow come back to normal. Wonderful. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use the wall to do a deeper pose. A deeper pose, now that we've stretched the hamstrings, take both the blocks, if you have 2 of them, pick the other one, and now face the wall this time. And we're going to bend down, keep the blocks down here somewhere, okay? You're going to bend down, support your back, support your low back, hold the capella, hold your hamstrings, the quads, and see if you can get into this 90-degree pose. And then you're going to take the blocks, use them, and then spread your feet just about hip width apart, nothing too much. If you want to move back a little bit, that's okay, get about 18 inches or so in this time. All right. And then adjust yourself, make sure the feet are fully grounded, supported. And then see if you want to tuck your head in and lean against the wall this time, so that your shoulder is against the wall, the neck is parallel, and your head is tucked in, and you're looking at your own knees. If you cannot be here, use your block like this, grab it, and put your entire palm down on the block. If you cannot rest the block completely down, you can make it stand like this so you get additional support. And walk your shoulder in. And then make sure your heels are on the ground. So we are preparing ourselves for this halasana, okay? So you're tucking your head in as though it is resting on the ground, and your feet are above your head. Just imagine you are in a halasana. And then you can get rid of the block and put your palm down completely. And bend your knees
Get a nice firm grip and then stretch them. Again, if you want to do one at a time, that's fine. Okay? And relax here. Close your eyes and observe dispassionately the stretch. We'll be here for a minute, a few more seconds. And observe the breath. Let the breath be the connecting link between the inner and the outer. The breath goes in and the breath comes out. That's how it connects the inner and the outer. To come out of the pose, use the block. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Put the block up. Put the other block up. And come up. And then use the block to stand up like this. And we are into Samakonasana. The body is at 90 degrees. The feet are at 90 degrees to the ground. The body is parallel to the ground. And then grab the wall and bend your knees a little bit. Grab the wall and come up. And put your hands up against the wall. Tuck yourself back a little bit. Put your hands together and then slide. Put your elbows on the wall. Rest your forehead and put your hips forward. The wall is a great support. Make sure that your back is supported. Again, we are using the gravity here to get a backward bend. And then come out. So the idea is that when you do the forward bends, you want to balance the body out, okay? So that you're not always bending forward, you will go backward also, all right? So that these are the complementary poses that you need to do so that your body comes back to normalcy. Okay, now having done that, we're going to now, we've stretched the body enough, so now we're going to do some twisting, okay? We don't need the block for this, so just sit on your chair like this, just sit. And put your feet so that you're getting a proper 90 degrees like this, okay? Don't put your feet inside like that, like you would normally sit. So pull your back straight up and then put your feet out so that it's a perfect 90 degrees. Once you do that, move back and make sure the feet are firmly grounded down there, okay? And then grab your chair this way in between your hands and then grab this, the back, and then tuck yourself back properly and see if you can twist a little bit. This is just a simple twist. It's nothing complicated. The back is straight. You're not seeing my back here, but it needs to be straight. So pull yourself upward by pushing the back in, just like what we were doing all the while. So push your back in, pull yourself up. So you're stretching yourself upward and twisting. Stretch and twist, stretch and twist, okay?
So now I'm going to grab the side of the chair. It's a little deeper pose now. So grab the side of the chair and see if you can move your back hand a little bit further in. Don't manipulate the breath. The breath should be normal. So unmanipulated breath is a normal breath. So let the body make those decisions when it wants to breathe harder and when it wants to breathe subtler. We don't interfere into that process here. This is not a pranayama exercise. Okay, so let the body handle the breathing process on its own. It knows, it's smarter. It is way more intelligent than we associate that give credit to the body. The body knows what to do. There is really no need for us to interfere in the breathing process here. So just observe that the mind body system is doing its job. You're doing just the job of observation. Okay. And to come out of it, let go the side, grab the between, and come back. And then change your hands. And this time, grab the chair from the back on the right side and pull yourself up and twist. Pull yourself upward and twist. Upward and twist. Very good. Let's see if you want to grab the side of the chair and go deeper at the back. And look straight ahead. And then start twisting your neck also and see if you can look above your shoulder. On the right shoulder. We didn't do it on the left side. I forgot. I'm sorry. But let's just do that here so that your complete spine all the way till the neck is twisted. Okay, and let it go. All right, so now this time you're going to turn the chair 90 degrees. Turn it 90 degrees and sit on it sideways, just like we were sitting. No difference. So now what's going to happen is this bar is going to prevent this leg from twisting in that direction. So now what you're going to do is make sure you're seated properly, centered. This thing is still at 90 degrees. Your body is still at 90 degrees with your thighs. If the chair is too low or tall, you can sit on a block if you feel like, so that your body is at 90 degrees, okay? Once you do that, you grab this guy on this side with your left hand and grab this guy, the other corner with your right hand. And with your left hand, you're going to grab the outer. So you're going to pull with the left hand and push with the right hand. So push into the right and pull from the left. And that'll give you a deeper twisting pose. And this leg is prevented from getting twisted so that it is firmly grounded in that direction, and then you're twisting like this. And let the body do its job in breathing. Do not interfere that. A few more seconds here. And relax. And then you're going to put the chair 90 degrees this way, turn around and sit on this side, and make sure your feet are, again, perpendicular. Tuck yourself back enough, and then grab this guy, and then push with your left this time, and pull with your right this time, here, like this. So if you do that, it is going to twist. And then turn your neck this time and look above your left shoulder. And come back. Very good. Now we will do some deeper poses of twisting. So this time what you do is take the chair and twist and turn it like this, let it fall, and then put your feet into it. And put your other foot into it, like this, like you wear your pants. And then sit. Okay. And then make sure you're, again, 90 degrees. So now what's going to happen is these two bars on the side are going to prevent your legs from spreading anything further out, okay? So feel down there at the heels that they're touching the legs of the chair. Feel from the back of your, from the heel. And then grab this guy, and then grab the back side and twist. So you'll start realizing what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get into the Ardha Machandrasan kind of twisting, but a chair posed. So we are only twisting the upper body, and this thing is going to prevent from the leg going that way. And then keep shifting how far back you can hold the chair, okay? So your left hand is almost to this corner of the chair. Try to grab that other corner, and then grab this guy, and then twist. So pull with your right hand and keep twisting. And pull yourself upward at the same time. Make sure your back is absolutely straight. Wonderful. And then twist your neck as well and look above your shoulders. And relax and come back. And now we're going to do the other side. So with your left hand now, grab the backrest, and with your right hand, grab the seat of the chair, and then keep twisting. And when you cannot twist any further, twist your neck and look above the shoulders. And stay here. So holding the poses is really the traditional way of doing yoga. This is how the yoga must have started, by twisting, turning, stretching, and then basically people realize that if you hold the pose, it allows the body to kind of relax, settle into the pose, but it also goes deeper into the pose, and all the physiological benefits that have to happen, like exchange of fluids, exchange at the cellular level, I mean, exchange of fluids, the toxins are thrown out, the blood gushes over there, the fresh blood actually cleanses every cell of that particular area where the stretching is happening. And all of those toxins come back into the mainstream and ultimately get into the liver. And then from there, it is filtered out. And you give the body a chance to basically rejuvenate itself. So you do these and hold them for at least 1 to 2 minutes. Every yoga pose is designed to be held for at least 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, the whole idea of vinyasa was started in the early 20th century. Okay, it didn't exist before. It was all introduced by Pattabi Joyce when he was teaching. He and Iyengar both were teaching at the Mysore palace to the soldiers, and that kind of yoga was designed for the soldiers to be fit and endurance and this and that, right? So, but the traditional yoga never actually talked about that. The traditional yoga was about relaxation, about twisting and stimulating the body, making sure all these toxins are thrown out, and the entire body then becomes healthy, and your mind becomes healthy. Everything kind of becomes healthy, wealthy, wise, as they call it. Okay, all right. So to get out of it, come out, take your feet out, get out of there, and we're almost done with this guy. What I want to do is let's get into seating poses. So get your blocks again, all right? Get your belt, and then sit down. Keep your block here, and then sit on it. Okay. Why block, right? What block does, it elevates your body and again allows the gravity to help you. That's all there is. For those who are comfortable sitting on the ground, you're perfectly all right. Okay. So what we're going to do is keep the block straight so that you have some room to fold your feet. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to come up, stand up on your knees like this, like you kneel down, like a punishment that we get in the school. You kneel down, and then you put the leg on top of it. Okay. If you cannot do that, all you have to do is put your feet at the back like that. If you cannot do that, tilt your feet at the back like this, and then take your other foot and then kick it. You should be able to kick it, the back side of your knee. Okay. And then take this left foot this way, right foot that way. All right. And then put your block under and slowly, slowly, slowly sit on it. Okay. And we are getting into the Gomukhasana. This is a seated pose. And the idea is that you stack up the knees like this on top of. So the center of that knee to the center of this knee to the center of the spine, all of that is nicely stacked up. And this becomes the Gomukh Asana. And then put both of your hands. This is actually a wonderful relaxing position. You can also meditate in this pose, but initially what's going to happen is your glutes are going to give you a lot of stretch, okay? They're going to get stressed out. Now, if you can feel your butts from the back right here, you can see that all of this part of the body is getting stretched, okay? And all of this side of the body is getting stretched. So close your eyes here and just sit. Keep your back straight. And observe the breathing process. The breath goes in, the breath comes out on its own accord. As it goes in, you can follow the breath. See how far deep you can follow it. As it comes out, see how far you can follow it. And the breath goes out, follow it, follow it, follow it. And then it returns and goes in again. And see how far inside the lungs you can follow it. And then it returns again and comes out. And you can get into this rhythm. Rhythms are really important. Everything in this universe has a rhythm. Okay? And these rhythms are something that gets you into this kind of, how do I say, like a resonance, if you will. If you follow this breath in and out, you get into this rhythm, and that rhythm actually helps you transcend and go beyond. It's like an oscillation that happens, you get into this, and then at some point, this resonance takes place. The resonance is like, these two frequencies match your observation and the natural breath. These two frequencies will come and coincide so well that the amplitude goes beyond control. And once that amplitude is beyond control, you're thrown out into the space, kind of. Think about it like that. And once you're into that space, you are just then observing the mind-body system. You're floating in the air. You just observe the breath going in, the breath coming out, the breath going in, and the breath going out. And by doing that, you tend to forget your body. All that pain, all that discomfort, everything is then left on the ground, and you're taken off like a rocket takes off. And you just see, you just observe dispassionately from a distance your body. Just observe that. Enjoy that floating. If that happens to you, let it happen. Don't interfere, any of that. Just observe. So there are three systems that have evolved in the Indian subcontinent. The yogic system of breathing, which we call it the pranayam. And then there was a system that was introduced by Shiva through the Vijnana Bhairav Tantra. So there is yogic system, there is tantric system, and then there is the system that the Buddha brought in of Vipassana. So you have to understand these three things. How are they different and how are they similar to each other? They're all talking about the breath. So there is Rechak and the Kumbhak that happens. The Rechak is the breath goes out, and the Kumbhak is the breath comes in. The breath goes out, that's Rechak, and the Kumbhak. The Rechak and the Kumbhak. So this process is a continuous process. Even if we are sleeping, we are eating, we are running, we are doing anything, The Rechak Kumbhak continuously goes up and down on its own accord. And then the pranayam came and said, we are going to interfere that process. And that interference, we're calling it pranayam. Then we started calling it the Bahya Rechak. Means you hold your breath out and you hold your breath in as Antar Kumbhak. So the Bahya and the Antar. You can also call it the Bahya Kumbhak and the Antar Kumbhak. And you started doing that, you started manipulating that, and the whole system of pranayama started developing from there. And as you know, there are thousands of different pranayams introduced into the yogic system. And the Vijnana Bhairav Tantra on the other side. Tantra is nothing but the technique. It talks about something totally different. It talks about observing the breath, and there are points that you need to observe. The point is that when the breath goes out, and there is a point when it starts returning. So you observe that point. And then you come back in, the breath comes in, and you observe that inner point. And then there is an outer point, and then there is an inner point. So these are tantric ways of observing. Then they went into a little bit deeper and said, can you observe the gap between, the pause between the two breaths? Observe that. So the breath goes out, you follow the breath, follow it, follow it, follow it. At some point, the body is not breathing for a fraction of a second. There is a little bit of that fraction of pause there. At that point, you observe that. Be aware. So the Tantra is talking about awareness of that particular pause. And then it comes in again, goes into your lungs. And you observe that pause inside, that the body is not breathing in or out. There is that fraction of pause. You observe that dispassionately, you observe, you're aware of that pause. And then the body starts throwing out the air again. Get into that rhythm. So these are the tantric ways of observing. The technique is nothing but a technique of observation, a technique of awareness. And these are all the systems that got developed in the Indian subcontinent. And then Buddha came and said, well, but then this is all becoming manipulative. This is all becoming mechanical. People are losing their awareness. They're focusing too much on these gaps, on focusing too much on the points. They're focusing too much on the Rechak and the Kumbhak of the yoga. Something has had to happen. Something has got to happen. So he said, none of the manipulating, none of the observation and manipulation of the breath anymore. Just leave the breath alone. Just let it be. Let it just go. Unleash that dog. Do not try to put that dog on the leash. Just let it go. And let it run around where it wants to run. Just observe the breath going in, the breath coming out in its natural process. And that started becoming the anapana. Anapana Sati Yoga, the Anapana Sati Dhyan. You just observe the breath going in and you observe the breath coming in. And just be the silent witness. He took away all the doership out of it. All of the doer. He did not leave any room for the doer to exist. He took it all that away. He stripped that body and the mind out of the doership. Completely gone. And suddenly there is no more substratum left for the ego to be. The ego that says, I am breathing in, I'm the one who is doing the Rechak and the Kumbhak, I'm the one who is observing all those points of the Tantra. None of that. He just discarded all of that. All of the systems were discarded. And then he said, just observe the breath. And that's where it all started. going into this other direction of Anapanasati Dhyana. Okay, so I think we've sat here enough. Let's get up slowly and then come back to your initial pose. And then this time, take the right foot and then take the left foot and kick it from the back. Get that really tight up against the back side of your knee, okay? Of the right knee. Get it tight. And then spread your feet apart and then sit on the block. Sit on that block at the back. Make sure that the knees, the center of the spine, center of the lips, the nose, the eyes, the eyebrows, and the crown of your head, they're all in this perfect line like this. And then close your eyes again. We're going to do some of that Anapanasati Dhyan here. Anapanasati Yoga. And just sit comfortably. This time you will feel that the stretch is happening in a different way. And with your hands, just gently put a gentle pressure on the knees. The idea of putting your hands here is basically, um, you know, so that the knees are, there's a gentle weight of the hands on it. And then close your eyes. And we're going to do our meditation here again. So we are going to go into observation mode of the breath. Follow the breath in and follow the breath out. In and out. Let's not try to manipulate the breath in any way. Just unleash that dog and let it run around. Let it be on its own. And you may realize that the mind starts wandering because the mind has nothing to do. We took away all that doership from the mind. So mind is like, okay, I've got nothing to do here. So I'm going to start wandering. And you observe that mind wanders. And the moment you realize that the mind has wandered, it will come back to observing the breath again. Because just observing the breath is too boring for the mind. Like, it's like I have no interest in doing this. What is the point in just observing the breath going in and out, in and out? This is so silly. And then it starts wandering into the past, wandering into the future, starts planning your day, planning your future, starts thinking about your investments, starts thinking about what you're going to do today. And the moment you realize that the mind has wandered, it will come back to the breath. There's nothing to be done. The observation is so powerful that it dispels darkness in that moment. The observation has its own light. You observe with that light as though you're focusing a torch, focusing that flashlight in the darkness. And wherever there is light, there is no darkness. Wherever there is light, there is no darkness. So the way you observe the mind, wherever there is observation of the mind, you will realize there are no thoughts. So thoughts are basically the filter. They are the clouds between us and the sun on the other side of the clouds. And wherever you shine your flashlight, there are no thoughts. The divine hypnosis, also called the Maya in Sanskrit, that Maya is the matrix through which we cannot see beyond. That Maya is the darkness that actually fills the void and doesn't allow us to look beyond. And wherever we shine that observation, the light of the observation, the darkness is dispelled. And that puts you into the moment of here and now. And with that awareness, you see beyond the matrix. You see beyond the clouds. And you get the glimpse of that sun. You get the glimpse of that infinity, the infinite space beyond the clouds. And that's the true union for the yoga. That the doership falls, and you are the silent witness of all that is going on, the thoughts, the bodily movements, the deeds done by the body. And then you come to the famous statement by Buddha: deeds are done, events are happening, but there is no doer thereof. Everything is running on its own accord. The entire universe is operating on its own accord. Events happen, deeds are done, but there is no doer thereof. And you transcend the mind and the body and you go beyond. Once you're into that space beyond the clouds, you come face to the reality, face to face with the Sakshi Chaitanya. The whole system implodes within itself. Look deep into that space between your eyebrows. Look deep into that Chidakash. While one part of your observation is on the breath going in and out, the inner and the outer space merge into the singular entity, into the singular Advaita, the one without the second. And that's the true self that Ramana Maharshi talks about, the self observation, the self. That self is the true reality that we all are. We are all at one at that point. We are all one at that level of substratum. And gently open your eyes. And come out of the pose. And we have about 10 minutes if you want to do some pranayam. That'll be awesome. So sit on your block again. Okay. Sit on the block comfortably. Cross legs. If you want to sit in Ardha Padmasana, tuck your heel. And we'll just do some basic Kapalabhati today. Take your glasses off, wristwatch off if it's electronic. Sit comfortably with your back and neck erect, back straight, perpendicular to the ground. Heel gently putting pressure on your perineum. Exhale fully. Inhale half the lungs and bring in brisk breathing, Kapalabhati. Exhale fully. Let's do the Bahya Rechak, Bahya Kumbhak. Hold the breath out. Let's not breathe. Take a deep breath. And let it go with Ujjayi breathing. Constrict your epiglottis. Control the breath out. Take another deep breath. And let it go gently. Extend the breathing out. Extend the breathing process outward as far as you can and follow that breath. See how far you can follow it. The breathing, follow that. See how far you can follow. Let's do another round. Exhale fully. Breathe in half the lungs and begin. Exhale fully. Hold the breath out. Bahya Kumbhak. Take a deep breath. Breathe out with Ujjayi. Take a few normal breaths and we'll do one more round. Exhale fully. Breathe in half the lungs and begin Kapalabhati again. Exhale fully. Baya Kumbhak. Observe that the body is not breathing. Observe the tingling sensations all over your body. Feel the aliveness of the body. Feel that the body is vibrating at a certain frequency. And take a deep breath. And prolong the exhalation as far as you can. Prolong it. And follow the breath as far as you can. Now leave the breath alone. And we go back to Anapanasati Dhyan. Ana, apana, breathe in, breathe out. Sati, sati is the satya, the truth of the breath coming in, the breath coming out. You're observing that truth Observing that reality of the breath coming in and the breath coming out on its own accord. Unleash the dog again. And this time, observe the breath along with the tingling sensations all over your body. All that oxygen in the body has stimulated every cell. Every cell of your body is stimulated. Every cell is in a cosmic dance. It's excited. Every cell is in its next plane of existence, of elevated plane of existence, the excited plane of existence. And that tingling sensations, those vibrations could potentially transcend us into the next plane of existence. But amongst all of this, the only one constant is that witnessing element inside, that Sakshi Chaitanya inside, that witnessing element, unwavering, none of these sensations, none of these tingling sensations. Nothing can go and touch from the periphery of the circle to the center of the circle. That center is untouched. All the revolutions of this circle are witnessed by this center, this particular. And you can observe that, you can see from that center out, from that witnessing element can witness itself. It is self-aware. That is the self-awareness. That is what gives us the sense of existence. That is that unwavering flame inside us that never extinguishes. That's what makes us feel alive. The Swa Samvedya, it can feel itself. The Samvedana, is a sensation. The awareness that it can feel itself. This is where the implosion happens. Feel the tingling sensations at the tip of your fingertips, at the center of your palms, at the sole of your feet. And take your palms and rub them against each other. Feel that sensation, that rubbing sensation. You may feel that the mind body is doing it and you are the silent observer. See that it is happening at a distance away from you. and gently put that palm on the eyelids and experience that Chidakash inside. You may feel, you may see indigo, blue, violet, green, yellow, orange, red colors. You may feel that, you may see them. Those are all the colors of the chakra inside, along the spine, along the Sushumna. And with that, we should say the prayer and close out the session. Bring your palms to the heart center. Exhale fully and breathe in fully. Take a deep breath. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram muninam Patanjalim Branjaliranatosmi Abahu Purushakaram Shankha Chakra Siddharinam Sahasrar Shirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Hari Om. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amit.
I hope you all enjoyed.